Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap." I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vigors. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and Missouri, just to name a few. So Underdog is running it back with their playoff basketball promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. So start round 3 by using your game 1 boost and continue boosting each following game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. I told y'all I use my 40% extender boost for game 1 of the Knicks versus Pacers series, as you guys can see on the screen here. Make sure y'all support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog app. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts, Mase and Cam.
Murder, what up, man?
What's up, man?
Shit, I'm good. How you?
Doing really good, man.
Good.
Looking like the series I
Told you,
expected
man.
to see.
I thought you was talking about my jacket. I was
Consistency.
yeah, I got shit for the next 3 weeks. I had all this shit in the stash. Wear your Yankee hat that you had on yesterday and try to act like it's a Knick hat. So
What about if they lose, Cam? You still gonna wear it?
they made it further than they made 25 years.
So you go. I said last week. I said I was going to wait.
You did what you had to do, but yesterday you had a Yankees hat trying to act like it was a Knick hat. That's what I'm saying.
It's
Shout out
New
to
York,
shout out to
Cam.
Jeff Hamilton again on this piece, particularly here. Send me over a nice little kid. I'm good for the next 3 weeks, man. I told you, Nick paraphernalia. Mase, as y'all can see, he's not as you can see the inconsistency. You bought 3 things. You said a week.
Yeah,
that's
I said
not
a
five,
week.
That's not 5
know,
things.
A week is 3 days.
I ain't mad at you. Go tonight, baby.
So it's coming back if they win game 1.
We'll see. We'll see. No, to tell the truth, I was going to wear my jacket today. I had a different jacket I was going to wear today, but, I was running for time, so I had to, try to get here.
Understood.
Okay.
Well, we're expecting. Well, I'm not expecting it, but we will see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna get into this Timberwolves versus OKC game. So Timberwolves lost game 1, 114-88 in Oklahoma. Mase, what did you think of the way this game went?
Well, actually, to think of how this game started, it started like a good game. It actually, all the way to the third quarter, seemed like it was going to just be competitive all the way through and through. Each team just kept making big plays and making big shots, similarly looking like they both came to play. But it just was so many role players that made a difference in this game today. When you look at Caruso, you look at not that Chet is a role player, but he's a star on that team. He made a difference in this game. And even they kept him around until SGA just took over. It just seemed like in the fourth quarter, he just took over. And one thing I did take from this game is that I wasn't ready to say this just yet, but SGA might be like a tier above Antman. So far, this is what I'm seeing from this game. Antman definitely is explosive, definitely came to play, definitely made some big buckets, some big threes. I even looked at the game from the point where DiVincenzo, how you say it? DiVincenzo, he was really hurting his team. Even though he made a couple big threes, it's just his antics, like, he get hit in the face. Yes, he did get hit in the face, but just making more of things than it need to be. And then one time he got the ball and just jacked up a 3. It didn't go in, and the threes is hurting this playoffs. When the ball goes long pause, it just puts the team out of position to even defend when you just jack up a lot of threes. And I think if they keep shooting these threes, they're going to be in trouble. I'm looking forward to OKC coming out of this series.
Mase said is like that he may think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a tier above Antman. He is until further notice. Antman don't have no league nominated for no league MVP. I don't think Antman was first team All NBA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, what happens is OKC until this year has not been getting nationally televised games. Sin always talking about, I was telling him about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the last 2-3 years. He's talking about, I can't find him on TV. I don't know what channel OKC play on. Well, you found out this year where the fuck they playing at. And at the end of the day, he's been first team All NBA, not second team, third team. This is going to be his third year straight being first team All NBA. And as we said, it isn't announced yet, but we all think that he'll win the MVP. Antman ain't there yet. And the thing about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, not from just the game last night, but just in general, he's never rattled. Even when they lost to Denver, we see him losing a game, one of the games, and he's walking off the court smiling. He had a real cool poker face. Even last night, it was a point in the game where Anthony Edwards tried to get physical and push him on the floor and do all this. He walks away. You can't rattle him. I hate them niggas. When you play ball, because I'm one of them niggas that when I used to play ball, try and get in your head, pause, and he won't let you get in his head. There's nothing that you can do to bother him, it seems like. So until further notice, he's definitely above Antman, not just because of last night, just because of the work he's put in the last few years. As far as the game last night, look, what happened is this. Minnesota was up 4 points at the half. They should have been up about 8 points. And then in the third quarter, they fell in love with the jump shot. You keep shooting jump shots and you're not making them. Mase just made a great point. This whole playoffs has been ridiculous with 3-point shots. It's ridiculous, and that's what happened last night. Anthony Edwards in the second quarter, he got hurt. I commend him for coming back. Played real well. It didn't look like he was hurt at all. So we're not going to use that as an excuse. But look, my nigga, y'all keep shooting jump shots, and it's not going in. This is a fucking going on the whole fucking playoffs. It's like ridiculous. And OKC plays by committee. Mase made another great point. SGA didn't have a great first half. I think he had 10 points in the first half. The rest of the team held it together. And that's what I said to myself. I'm saying, look, OKC didn't play good in the first half and they only down 4 points. They gonna win this game. I didn't think they would win by this much, but I'm like, they didn't even play good. And they came out in the third quarter and spanked them niggas. And then Minnesota could never recover. What I didn't like for Minnesota is this. First of all, the threes, and secondly, Anthony Edwards not being the superstar that he's supposed to be. Julius Randle was looking like he's the first option on the Timberwolves. That's not going to work for them to win. Now, could Julius Randle have better nights than Anthony Edwards? Yes. Could Julius Randle have nights where he outscores Antman? Yes. But he cannot be the first option for them to win this series. It's just not going to work like that. SGA, he lets the game come to him. He ended up finishing with 31 points. It was a smooth-ass 31. But like Mase said, the rest of the team, it isn't just about SGA. He's the leader. He's spearheading what they're doing. But Dort, Jay Will, Chet, Harstein, look, all of them niggas play by committee with SGA leading the way. Naz Reid for Minnesota. You cannot be going, what the fuck Naz Reid went? Oh, 1 for 11. You up for a contract. Contract's up. You said you was about to go out in the field and see where that money at. Not 1 for 11, my nigga. DiVincenzo, 3 for 11 from 3. Stop jacking up the threes if you not. Look, my nigga, I don't get what make people think that, and it might be the mind of a shooter. I missed the last one, but I'm gonna make the next one. I missed the last one, I'll make the next one. No, it doesn't work like that for everybody else. But the most disappointing thing for Minnesota, or your Minnesota Timberwolves fan, is that Antman didn't take the game under control. We have 3 superstars left in the Final Four in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. I don't consider Tyrese Halliburton, however you pronounce his last name, a superstar. I consider him an all-star, which he is. I consider Jalen Brunson, Antman, and SGA superstars. The reason why people love Jalen Brunson is because they know no matter what, the Knicks are going to win or lose on his shoulders. It doesn't matter. Double team, triple team. The ball's going to be in his hands. Now, don't get it fucked up. I know we're going to talk about the Knicks in a minute, but you can have Mikal Bridges have an outstanding fourth quarter. You can have Karl Anthony Towns step up and do what he's supposed to do. But the ball will be in Jalen Brunson's hands when the game is on the line or when the Knicks are down or when they need him. Anthony Edwards sometimes shies away from that. And I'm not going to put Shai Gilgeous in that conversation because, you know, he's proven serving game after game throughout leading up to the Western Conference, he's one of them niggas. Going to be MVP. But Jalen Brunson, you know, like I said, he's Mr. Clutch. But you can't do what Antman did last night and expect to be one of them niggas. And this is why niggas love Jalen Brunson, because he takes over when it's time to take over. Anthony Edwards didn't do that. Now, did his coach put him in, leave him on the bench too long? I say he did. Now, all this motherfucking, the minutes, this many minutes, and then we got to make sure they don't get... The nigga's 23. You're in the Western Conference Finals, and you're trying to give him rest. The nigga ain't 37. Nigga, if he got to play... Look, it was times, and I don't think this year, last year, LeBron played all 48 minutes when he needed to play all 48 minutes. Maybe 46 minutes, went out for a minute or two. Let these niggas play, bro. We get it, might be a long series. The nigga's 23, big. And then, man, you got to say something, too. You got to go to your coach and say, look, if we going to win, you can't have me on the bench when we down 7, and then by the time you put me back in with 8 minutes left, we down 14, 15 points and want me to make a miracle happen. You have to say something. The Joker did, even though they didn't move to the next round, but sometimes as a player, you got to put it in your coach's ear. Don't use me, pause, just to fucking mount a comeback. Use me when we're up 3-4 points to establish a lead, so when you do put me on the bench, I got a little cushion if the other team comes back. And that's what happened in Minnesota last night.
Yeah, he took him out because he had 4 fouls and they was trying to wait, but they waited. You're right, they waited too long. And I think this plays into the whole fact that earlier this year, we remember hearing from Antman that he said he doesn't want to be the face of the league. This showed that. This showed he didn't want to be the face. And actually, another thing that I really took from this is that just 6 years ago, Paul George was traded for SGA. And looking back, that was a horrible trade. They traded for SGA and like 5 first-round picks.
What you just said about being late with the fouls, yeah, but that's part of Anthony Edwards too. You picking up stupid ass fouls, pushing niggas, getting aggressive. 4 fouls is not 5 fouls. Put me in the game, you know what I'm saying? Secondly, if you don't want to be face of the league, I understand that. But that don't mean don't go out and not compete.
Right.
Look, I'm going to go score 60. I don't want to be your advertisement for the NBA. But that don't got nothing to do with my determination to go bust this nigga ass, pause. That don't got nothing to do with it, me personally, because you can be the face to be the best player and don't have to be the face of the league. I'm not coming to the community service. I'm not giving out the turkeys. That comes with face of the league. All the extra shit after winning that you have to do, community service, everything. I get that. If that's not you, that's not you. We used to watch Marshawn Lynch all the time be like, yo, I'm only here so I don't get fined. He didn't want to do press conferences. The nigga just wanted to be a running back. And that don't mean he wasn't a good running back. But I don't think face of the league should have anything to do with the determination
of wanting to win.
Back to the other thing, when you're talking about how the Clippers traded him for Paul George, you think that's absolutely a terrible trade. How you think Charlotte feel? Charlotte drafted him.
Yeah.
SGA.
And it's crazy just looking back at that because, like you said, AI was also one of them players who didn't want to be the face of the league. He didn't want to wear suits. That's why he started wearing cornrows, baggy clothes, jewelry out. But when it was time to play, he wanted to win.
Yep.
Yeah. I will add, though, even though he said he doesn't want to be the face of the league, to Cam's point, that doesn't mean that he's not a competitor. I just think that as the game went on, they lost momentum and he wasn't at his best point. Like, even in the fourth quarter, he had 0 points. Like, that's not like Antman. He only made 13 shots in the entire game. He needs to shoot more. And I just even think defensively what OKC did
13 shots.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
and then even defensively, what OKC did to Julius Randle, they limited him. So I just think they needed to make more adjustments by the second half, and that just didn't happen, and that resulted in their loss. And hopefully they can kind of come back this next game because they're going to need to do way better than that. But Cam started kind of explaining this, and I want to get your opinion too, Mase. Who do you feel like specifically needs to step it up on the Timberwolves side aside from Antman?
And before I get into that, I want to say something about the Antman thing because, you know, I really enjoy watching Antman play. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I think he is the face, one of the faces of the league. So I don't say what I'm saying in discrepancy towards him. It's just those are the statements that come back for people to pull when you say something and hold it against you. So that's why I'm putting it out there, because that's what a journalist would do. They will go back to the point that makes this moment memorable and that goes with this moment. But when you talk about who needs to step up on the Timberwolves, pretty much everybody, you know. Other than Mike Conley, I think he did a decent job, but I think they're putting too much stock into Mike Conley. I remember saying this earlier. They got to get the young boy in there and let him play. If you go back and look at some of the early teams that won in Miami, they were infused with Mario Chalmers, Norris. It's sometime when you bring just that 1 point guard off the bench, that's not the player that they're normally looking at. They don't have a plan for him because he's new, and I think that will be the case with this. I forgot the guy's name. He came in here before. He went to Kanye's school. Man, why am I forgetting his name? But we'll come back to that.
Dillingham?
Dillingham. Yeah, they got Rob Dillingham. Just because he could change the game and the pace. Right now, they're being beat with energy. It just looks like OKC is playing at a much faster speed. Now, I'm not saying he can guard SGA, but I don't think SGA will be able to keep up with him in his change of direction, and that would change the game. Naz Reid definitely got to play better. I remember one time he went to the rack, and it was like Chet just little boy this shot, and that can't happen. As well as who else is on that team that need to step up? DiVincenzo, right? When you look at what the Knicks are doing, he better step up. The worst thing in the world is for him to get traded, and then they don't make it to the championship, and the Knicks make it to the championship. It's going to look like he was the person they had to move. So those are three people that need to play better immediately. And last but not least, Antman. Antman definitely has to be in 28 and up every game. If they want to win this game, they want this to be a competitive series. They got beat by 26, and the 26 that was missing, at least 16 of that is Antman points. So if they want to win, he got to be at 28 points and higher to be a championship team.
Okay. And then
you said outside of Antman.
Yeah.
Look, Rudy Gobert can't have 3 rebounds. They know they started playing fucking small ball and all that. You got to play 20. You got 3 rebounds. Nigga, yo, you the tallest nigga in the building. I'm talking about fans included. You have 3 rebounds and 2 points. That's just totally unacceptable, man. That's out of control. It's unacceptable. That's first and foremost. We're going to start there, that you had 3 rebounds, nigga, and 2 points. And that's why they started playing small ball. Nigga, you can't even get the rebounds. You can't, you niggas like, I don't know what the fuck out the last 2 series, Alex Caruso became some defensive specialist.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe I ain't been paying attention, but now Alex Caruso is the defensive specialist. He's Bruce Brown. He's Tony Allen all of a sudden playing 1 through 5. That's what's going on. So first it starts Rudy Gobert. Then we got to go to the bench. Naz Reid, DiVincenzo, Alex Walker, who's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's cousin. You want to go back home to the barbecue this summer and get cooked by like the food? Because that's all they're going to talk about. His mother and your mother, which is they aunts and these. Nigga, I don't want to go. I'm not. Imagine me and Mase being cousins and we in the championship or the Western Conference Finals and I got to deal with him this summer. Now it turns into the mothers talking about, your son was never good as my son. He was all right, but he wasn't like that. We see that. He's a role player. My son's MVP. It's all that. You got to take that into consideration. Between Naz Reid, Alexander Walker and DiVincenzo, they shot 5 for 28 from 3. What are you doing? What are y'all, this is one back to the 3 I was just talking about last day. 5 for 28 off the bench. This is the production that we're talking about. All these is players off the bench. 5 for 28 from 3. What don't y'all get? So those are the 4 players. Of course, Antman, but you said outside of Antman. Those are the 4 players. Rudy Gobert cannot get 3 rebounds, and Naz Reid, DiVincenzo, and Alexander Walker cannot go 5 from 28 from 3-point land. That's just not going to work.
Okay, and then another question for both of you, because Mase, you also bring up a good point, kind of back to Antman saying that he doesn't want to be the face of the league. And I know it's kind of like a shoulda, coulda, woulda, but like you said, in these moments, that is when literally your words will be used against you. I know he was being transparent, but do you feel like that's something that he shouldn't have said, or do you still not see a problem with it because he's young, or like whatever your reasoning is?
Nah, like when you get approached by the cops, they tell you, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I think people forget the last part of that. Everything you say can and will be used against you. People don't listen to the will be used against you. They think, well, it can be used against me. And that's what we're watching when it comes to him. He never had to say that in public, He should have never said that in public. As a PR person, they were supposed to tell him not to say that. He's supposed to be trained not to say that, because the whole purpose of them paying you the big bucks is to be a face, right? So you don't get a lot of money for not being a franchise player. You get the money for being a franchise player, and in order for you to demand these record-breaking contracts, you're the face of something. So to actually say that you're not is just, again, a concept that's yet to be understood by this generation. In a sense, they want the money, but they don't understand the responsibilities that come with the money. They go hand in hand. It's like you can make a certain amount of money being one type of star, then you make another type of money being another type of star. And you got to be able to understand that, hey, if I'm making all this money from Walmart, I can't be standing over here with a Uzi. It's just, you don't get to do both. It's just the truth. Unless you with that group.
Hey, Cam.
And the exact question is what?
Yeah, basically, I know Antman was being transparent about saying that he doesn't want to be the face of the league. Do you feel like he never should have said that, or you feel like
it goes like this? They're young. He's 22 when they probably asked him this question. He didn't just bust out and say, I don't want to be the face of the league. Somebody asked him. So what happens is they take sound bites and they run with it. Like Mase just said, sometimes what you say, it's okay not to answer questions. I tell people that all the time. Because somebody asks you a question, that doesn't mean you have to answer the question. You can just say, I'd rather not answer that question. Let's move on. But at the end of the day, at a 22-year-old, what you got to realize, some of these niggas is ignorant. And sometimes organized ignorant. I tell niggas, if I'm ignorant, I calculated my ignorance on purpose. Don't just think I'm randomly ignorant, talking about myself. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting there saying that's what Mase said to me is 2 different things. Being the face of the NBA is not being a franchise player, because the franchise player, every team, not almost every team that's good has a franchise player. That don't mean you the face of the league. The league is not paying me. The franchise is paying me. I don't want to do what I just said, everything else that comes with being the face of the league. Me personally, Antman might have knew he had all this other shit going on. It might have been smart for him to say it, because you might want to make him the face of the league and then he paying child support up front for 18 years. He don't want to deal with babies that's his. You don't know what, he's rude to the bitches. So at the end of the day, you can't be none of that shit that he is and be the face of the NBA. The nigga after every game come up there with the Atlanta hat tilted to the side, letting you know he's pieced up A-Town down. He letting you know this after every game. So the extracurricular shit off the court may say he may be trying to do you a favor. Like, my nigga, you don't know what I'm really into. When I'm not in between these lines, I got some whole other shit going on where y'all may not want me to be the face of the league. It was a clip going around, and I don't know if we ever talked about it. It was a clip going around, I believe we did, where a lady was in the store saying to her son, we're not gonna buy Antman sneakers because he don't like
Yeah. He don't like to take care of his kids.
He don't like to take care of his kids. And I believe we talked about, man, we did talk about up here because we was like, nah, that had to be the auntie or somebody or something like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
But if you got somebody in the store and they son want Antman sneakers and you got mothers out here saying, we're not going to buy the sneakers because he doesn't like to take care of his kids, he might be trying to tell himself, there's more than that about to happen. I got some other shit going on. Trust me when I tell you, leave this face of the league shit alone. I got other shit going on. So to me, my personal opinion is this. You got people who want to be, when we say face of the league, you have to think about this. That's another word for ambassador. You're an ambassador for the NBA. I don't want to be an ambassador.
Yeah.
And then certain things help out. We sat there and talked about how last season, or whatever season it was, how Ja Morant shouldn't have put the gun out. He gets suspended. He's not playing. He doesn't make all NBA team. Then he gets back on the internet, shows the gun. What happens? His sneakers sell out in an hour. What we doing? Sneakers, faster shit sold out faster than when he was playing. When he wasn't playing. You gotta pick and choose. And when I say pick and choose, the society we in is kind of weird all around the board, off the court, on the court, etc. So sometimes you gotta figure out the situation you're in and pick and choose what's best for your career.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that being said, he could still be the face. Yeah, in this generation, you can still be the face, you know?
Yeah.
No, because I'm thinking about that. That's why I like when we say opposite points, because it give different vantage points, even for our listeners. They get to enjoy that. With everything that you're saying you have to do for the face of the NBA, you actually have to do as the face of your team. You just doing it in a smaller market sometimes. But I remember Kevin Durant and different people, Russell Westbrook and all of them, they giving out turkeys in OKC. They're going to the orphanage at OKC. That's what the face of the league got to do. It's the same thing. So thinking of what you're saying, it is some validity to it though, because like you said, some people's sneakers come out and they got stuff going on. So all rules don't apply to everybody.
Right.
Yeah. And then just to clarify, I want to say the exact quote that Antman said. So he did say, I'm capable of being that guy, but I don't want to be that guy. Put it like that. I want to be the guy to just show up and hoop and just kills dudes and goes home. We know that he pinpointed to Wemby as being face of the league. And when you compare, Wemby's posting, hey guys, I'm in New York, meet me for a chess match. Like, not everybody wants to do that. I'm not saying you necessarily got to do that, but the clean cut image is not for everybody.
He might say he want to play chess and the girl brothers show up, so he can't do that. You got to move a different way.
Let me ask you this, and I don't mind it. I'm just saying I don't mind. But can the face of the league? I'm just giving you examples of what he's done this season. Beat the Lakers and walk around LA and be like, I sent y'all asses home. Everybody go in the house. He walked around LA trolling fans and saying, yeah, pack it up. Y'all was saying we gonna go home in 5. We sent y'all home in 5. Walking around the city. I don't think you could be the face of the NBA doing that according to what the face of the NBA should be. Like you said, it may be new standards now.
It might be a new day, though. It might be a new day. Who knows?
Yeah, but that's not the clean-cut face of the NBA that niggas is used to. So at the end of the day, no, I don't want to be a face of the NBA. I want to go around and troll niggas after we send niggas home and tell niggas they thought we was going home. We sent them home. Yo, grab Gerald and Hamo and let's walk around LA and troll niggas. Is that the face of the NBA? I don't know. I'm not. It's a question, but rhetorical. I really don't know.
Hey, Jordan gambled, and our president said, "Grab her by the."
Hey, yo, listen.
He still won the presidency. Yeah. I'm not laughing about it, but just to think that's the time we're in. I'm just saying that's the time we're in.
Times have definitely changed.
Yeah, that's my favorite president.
Oh yeah,
Bill Clinton. I'm not talking about Trump. I thought you meant, when you said grab by the pussy, you talking about Trump, but I'm thinking about Bill Clinton was getting head in the side office, smoking weed and all that. That was my nigga. And Hillary was with it. Not with it, but she dealt with it.
Mind you, that was supposed to be
born
private, though. No, but I know it. I study politics. That was supposed to be private, though. Like, it's not like they flaunted that. And then it happened. It was like, dang, we're here.
See, the thing about it is that it's a different thing studying it, and it's a different thing living
it. That's true.
It wasn't outside when that shit was going on.
How you know it's that?
Yo,
He said he didn't have, and he said he didn't have relations.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was tied in that,
he said
though.
he didn't inhale. He definitely said that.
And he was the face of the whole country. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a different day. He was the face of the country. And now we got another face of the country, Stat. So this is what we're saying.
That nigga was getting head from his side joint and smoking weed and denying it all. And they wanted to impeach the nigga, but he stood tall. But I'm not saying you don't know what happened, but it's like, for instance, right? When niggas be talking about Jordan and all that, I know young niggas be like, oh my God, enough with the Jordan shit. But to be in it, like right now, right? For instance, right? Let's just think about 30 years from now.
Yeah.
And the Knicks don't go nowhere. And you sit there and remember, you're alive now to see how crazy niggas is going.
Yeah.
So if niggas don't go crazy again, you try and explain it to somebody in 30 years, and they be like, all right, in 2025, the nigga that was acting wild, we get it. But explaining it and being there or seeing it is different from trying to explain it to somebody. So I'm not saying you don't know what you're talking about, but sometimes just being in the essence of it.
They've been like that since 1990.
Yeah.
We can remember them being like that over and over. Even before that, Bernard King running out the side of the locker room halfway hurt.
83, 84, 7, 8 years old. Like.
Yeah. And they've been this crazy since.
Yeah.
Without winning.
Yeah.
What you saw the other day.
You say there's nothing.
Since the 80s.
Yeah.
That we can remember not winning, actually.
Yeah,
Getting that crazy year after year.
Yeah.
You get tired.
No, but what I'm saying is, my point is, they do get crazy, but what's going on is, as the Knicks win more, the level of crazy gets crazy.
Yeah, niggas standing on buses with their shirt off.
To get to this round, this crazy that's going on in New York wasn't the crazy that went on last round. It's a new crazy now. It's an Eastern Conference Championship crazy. It's a second round crazy. And like Mase said, all year round these niggas is crazy. But the more it gets to crazy, the further they get. Look, nigga Simmons on the phone, I'm not supporting this or nothing. But if the Knicks make it to the championship, he just said somebody might get shot. That's what he just told me on the phone before we started the show, man. And you know what? I said, maybe. I'm not saying I want that to happen, not going to work for somebody, but this is what's going on.
That's why when they made the Brooklyn Nets, I didn't understand it. I was like, yo, this is too close right here, Paul. This is too close. They doing too much. We already got a team in the city. That's why I never went to the Brooklyn Nets.
I mean, okay. That's like the one team that's like an off for you.
Yeah, you can't do it. I didn't even go for the Biggie celebration. I just couldn't do it.
Because the whole thing about it is this. Outside of basketball, New York got 2 teams and everything. 2 baseball teams, 2 hockey teams, 2 football teams. And they said, why not just do 2 basketball teams? We got 2 teams and everything else.
True. Okay, so Thursday, game 2, Timberwolves versus OKC. Underdog has Julius Randle at 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
I'm going to go higher. It's a must-win game. Everybody got to show up. So what's the chances of him not having that much? He definitely got to show up.
I'm going to go lower.
Okay. DiVincenzo's at 14.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Who knows with this nigga? It's like, my nigga. Like, he could heat up, or he could just be a male ginger. Like, who fucking knows? I'm going to go higher because he didn't play that well. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Pause. I'm going lower. I don't have no benefit of doubt. You know there's no benefit in doubting?
Yeah, it's just a slogan, slang. I don't know. You know more about sayings than me, but you know, it's a lot of sayings I don't like. I don't like Who let the cat out the bag? Who put the cat in the bag in the first place? Whoever put the
That's a good question.
He's quick
That's
on
a really
his
good
feet.
question.
I like that. I like that.
That's what I say. Whoever put the cat in the bag, man. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Then why I got the cake?
Yeah, then why did you pass me the cake?
Why would I have the cake and I can't eat it too? It's mad at them shits that just stupid to me. So I know it's dumbass shit. So I'll take your word for it.
That was good. I never thought about that.
That's another one of them know-it-all statements.
Yeah, it is.
My son said that one time. I said, you know what? I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. He said, there's actually no benefit.
I would be mad. Like, thank you. Like, that's good though. I'm gonna start saying that. Okay, SGA's at 6.5 assists. You have him higher or lower, Mase?
Oh man, I'm going higher. I think SGA just takes over this series. I expect Antman to show up, and I think it should be like the clash of the Titans. But I definitely have him getting more than 6 assists.
I'm gonna go low.
Okay. Make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. We're going to go to break. When we return, we will discuss expectations for Knicks versus Pacers. Don't go anywhere.
On Underdog, you can play your way to bigger boosts each round of the playoffs with the Extender. Start a series by using your Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game. The longer the series, the bigger the boosts. Underdog, the best place to pick playoff basketball.
Welcome back. So, y'all, we're just going to get straight to it. Knicks versus Pacers, Game 1 tonight. Mase, what are your expectations?
My expectations, being that it's in New York, for it to be crazy. All of the new Knicks fans, cut it out. You're jinxing the Knicks. The Knicks need all the good support they need. That's why I didn't wear my Knicks stuff today, I'm not really a Knicks fan. I wish them well.
Oh, my. Wow.
I wish them well. I'm supporting from afar, you know what I'm saying? I'm with them in spirit, even though I'm not there personally. And I think the Knicks should be okay the first game. But I don't want to see this Knicks team spiral. It would be disheartening for the whole city. But I got a good vibe that the Knicks, they'll go to 7. They'll go to 7.
Look, this for a lot of people who don't know because it's been a long time. This was a really big, maybe I will say rivalry like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like the Knicks in Indiana, people don't remember the Chuck Persons and the Dale Davises.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Davis brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Like Brick Smiths, Indiana had a really good team. They made it to a championship one year. They lost that year. They beat the Knicks to go to the chip, but they lost. But it looks like after they threw a garbage bag at the Indiana Pacers, it's back up again, nigga. It's up. So what I'll say is this. I just don't want the moment. And it looks like Jalen Brunson is cool, calm, and collective. Anthony Towns played in the conference finals last year, even though it was on the West Coast. What they got to realize is even Anthony Towns, I say Anthony Davis, pardon me, Anthony Towns played in the Western Conference finals last year. What they got to realize is this. Take a deep breath, pause, and relax, because it don't matter if you played in the Western Conference finals, whether it was in Dallas or Minnesota, it is not going to be like Madison Square Garden tomorrow.
Yeah.
That shit is going to be on another level, and everybody has to just be in the moment and not get caught up in the circus that's revolving around the game. Because the whole Eastern Conference Finals is going to be a zoo. Niggas coming in with outfits and they're all type. It's going to be, mark my words, it is going to be a zoo tonight when this game goes on. Not basketball-wise, everything surrounding it. You can imagine the A-list celebrities right now fighting for tickets to go to this game. So what I'll say for the Knicks is just don't get too caught up in the moment of adrenaline, excitement. Pause, because I still don't Mase want revenge from the other day when he said the wild shot. He's been reaching. But what I'll say is this, just for game one, don't get, it's going to be nerves, but, hopefully they settle down by the end of the first. But my prediction, I agree with Mase. This is going 7, maybe 6, but if I have to make a prediction, I'm going to go with the Knicks. The reason I'm going to go with the Knicks is that last year they won 7 games. OG is hurt. Julius Randle is hurt. There wasn't no Karl Anthony Towns. Jalen Brunson got hurt during the series, and they took them 7 games. Indiana basically has the same team that they had last year, and everybody's healthy on the Knicks. I think the only problem with the Knicks, and me and shout out to Big Church that's in the building, that we were saying that the only problem with the Knicks is that where they may run into trouble is their bench. Thibodeau doesn't trust the bench. That's what Church, I thought that too, but me and Church was just talking about before the show. You give Campaign, he has a decent game, and then the next game you give him 3 minutes. McBride is the only one that he really trusts that comes off the bench. So you playing with 6 players, and the rest of the team isn't in rotation. You got the guard and cheering PJ Tucker's name to get in the fucking game. They
need PJ in it.
So Tom Thibodeau doesn't trust his bench. So the only problem I see for the Knicks, not saying that Indiana is somebody they should just look over, because to be honest with you, my personal opinion is Indiana is the most cohesive team that's left because they're playing together. Turner, the son, is playing good. Toppins is coming off the bench playing good. McConnell's coming off the bench playing good. Tyrese Halliburton, he doesn't have to score 40 to be effective in the game, not just offensively, defensively. They're very cohesive, and they use their bench. The only problem I see for the Knicks is that Thibodeau doesn't use the bench and he runs his players into the ground. So if you run into foul trouble, Josh Hart get 3 fouls in the first half, or Jalen Brunson gets 2-3 fouls in the first half. Karl Anthony Towns, then you don't trust your bench, and then you may put players in there that may not be able to produce points. Because Mitchell Robinson, he's great defensively, but he's not going to get you 25, 30 points. So that'll be the only problem for the Knicks, that they don't use their bench, and Thibodeau doesn't trust them. It's to the point where one of the games, Rick Brunson, Jalen Brunson's father, is telling them, yo, take niggas out. The last game they played against Boston, they were up 25, and he had the starters in with 2 minutes and some change left. And niggas was like, yo, get niggas out. Let niggas get a standing ovation, not just a standing ovation. Let's pray nobody gets hurt in the last 2 minutes. So I think that'll be the only problem for the Knicks. If we're playing competitive, nobody gets hurt, mano y mano, I'm going with the Knicks. But Indiana is nothing to look over, not at all.
For sure.
And I think before we move on, we definitely got to put some respect on Rick Brunson's name. I was watching some videos of Rick Brunson training Jalen Brunson, and they was about to fight, and he was telling them to do everything he's doing right now in this series. I thought that was like a remarkable piece to look back and say that his dad was practically forcing him to be the player that he is right now. And he's like, no, you make this shot. No, you do it from here. And then looking at the game, he's doing that same move is like really surreal. That was really beautiful.
Yeah.
What I say is this for Rick Brunson, and he's super duper smart. He's nepotism, never way. Reverse nepo, I don't know what you call it when you use your son. Seriously. I'm dead serious, because you got to think about this. Listen, to Mace's point, that was great. That was a great take, because I was doing some due diligence on it as well. Rick Brunson, of course we know he played in the NBA, but the reason, and no disrespect to the people I'm about to say, but he wants to do more than just be on the sideline cheering for us. He don't want to be T. Morant. He don't want to be LeVar Ball. Nigga, I'm in here. I made this happen for us. Rick Brunson, when Jalen Brunson was in high school and being recruited, and he was picking his teams of where his schools or where he wanted to go.
Yeah.
Temple was one of the schools that Jalen Brunson was thinking about going to. They offered Rick Brunson the job. He was going to get the job at Temple, but he got arrested for whatever he got arrested for. Temple was like, nah, we can't have you on coaching the team. You just got locked up for what he got locked up for. And Jalen Brunson said, oh, well, y'all are off the list for what schools that I might attend. They've been manipulating this shit since high school. This shit been planned out. It's like Braun and Bronny, just the other way around. Now he's the coach of the Knicks when he couldn't even get a college coaching job for a minute because that's what happens. I don't know if it's still nepotism, but it's the other way.
Yeah.
Reverse nepotism. So shout out to Rick Brunson. Absolutely.
Right.
And they're winning, so you can't be mad at it though.
Right.
Yeah, it's just real funny because it's been less than 7 days still to see you go from a Celtics fit to the whole Knicks gear.
Yeah, that's how
and
fast.
You talking about you wish them well.
Stay where you at. Stay on him. Pause. Look at Cam. That's the New York Minute. That's what happens in the New York Minute. It could change that fast.
Listen,
so what are you?
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I got all type of levers in my closet. I just happen to pull the Boston lever out. Niggas know I'm not a Boston Celtics fan. Everybody knows I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan. And that's just that. But my real team is the Harlem Globetrotters. Outside of the Spurs, nigga, we never lose.
At least the origins are New York. Yeah. I'm not even mad at it. But.
Wait. Let me ask y'all something. How far do y'all think the Knicks can go, though? Do you think they could win it all?
They're second to win it all now. OKC is favorites, and the Knicks are actually second favorites. What I'll say is this, though. Somebody from the Knicks is going to win a championship. If Indiana go, Obi Toppin will win. If OKC win, Hartenstein will get a win. And if Minnesota go, Julius Randle, DiVincenzo will get a win. So at the end of the day, y'all could go on that if the Knicks don't actually go. You could be like, niggas took our players. That's what Sin always, niggas got our players over there. I said, Sin, you can't keep beefing about Minnesota having y'all players, and you got Minnesota players. Yeah, I ain't think about it like that. Yeah, nigga, what are you talking about? So somebody who played for the Knicks is definitely going to win a championship if the Knicks don't.
And right now, we're in agreement that the Knicks got the better of that trade with DiVincenzo.
I'm not.
I think we still have some games to see.
I'll say this. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
you're
off.
good.
It's that, look, everybody's still in it.
Yeah.
So
and Randall just got busy, Paul.
Yeah, but I'll say is this. The matchup that I would like to see is Minnesota against New York.
Yeah.
Then you'll see who actually got the better of the trade. But to be honest with you, so far I'll say this, Mase, is that the Knicks got the better of the trade because they went further than they went last year.
Yeah.
For now, today, I'm talking about May 21st. I'm talking about today. Because Minnesota was in the conference finals last year. Now, Minnesota get to the championship, we don't know. So to me, it's still to be determined.
Okay. So now we're going to switch gears to WNBA. Some pretty deep conversations over just a regular game. So Caitlin Clark got a flagrant foul on Angel Reese after a hit in the Fever versus Sky game. In the game, Angel Reese attempted to approach her and said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Meanwhile, Caitlin's teammate Aaliyah Boston is trying to hold Angel back. Angel's kind of pushing her out the way, just trying to get at Caitlin. After the game, Caitlin said it was just a good take foul. Either Angel gets a wide open 2 points or we send them to the free throw line. Basically, people have been going back and forth about this all week, all day. Mase, what was your opinion on what happened? What was your thoughts on the play? And then how did you feel about Angel Reese's reaction?
Because I saw this and I talked to a few people, there's several narratives right now floating through the ghetto, right?
The ghetto.
Right now, this is what the ghetto is saying, you know. They've been doing this to black guys the whole time. So it's just now made it to the women that a white person is pushing you down. So that's the first thing they're saying in the ghetto. The second thing they're saying is this is...
What ghetto do you be in? What ghetto is this? What are you talking? What ghetto is this, bro? I did not want because I want to know what ghetto this is coming from. Is it in America? Because I know you be all over the world. What ghetto is this coming from? My bad. I didn't want to cut you. I'm just trying to get the origin of where this is coming from.
Okay, should I say my ear to the street? Is that better? I had my ear to the street. This is what they're saying in the street.
Ear to the street don't have to be the ghetto. Ear to the street can be where's rich people at. You just, why would you go straight to the ghetto? My bad, I ain't mean to cut you off. My bad. Let me finish here with the ghetto side.
Okay. Well, the first thing they're saying in the ghetto is that the way she was pushed down by Caitlin Clark is the way black men's been pushed down a long time by white people. So that was the first thing. No pun intended. The second thing, I think this shows that there is a pure hate that Reese has for Caitlin Clark. I'm not sure if this has something to do with the LeBron picture or the Michael Jordan comment, but this shows that there is something real between them two. And the third thing I looked at from my own vantage point is that she fouled somebody else really hard before Caitlin pushed her. So she pushed a member of the Fever, and then Caitlin pushed her. So it wasn't just Caitlin pushing her. It was also, you pushed my teammate super out of the way, and now you look like you're trying to get an easy basket after they let you go with a foul, and now she fouls her really hard. So I saw both of those things.
But did you answer the question?
No, that's what I was going to ask again. It took me a second to kind of, what did you, not the ghetto, not the streets, Mase, what did you think of Angel Reese's reaction?
Oh, I thought her reaction showed that I agree with the ghetto. I agree that you know, she got some animosity towards Caitlin Clark, and because the way she got up, it was a foul, but I didn't see it as that crazy of a foul. I think she was trying to, you ever try to foul somebody hard, but you're not strong enough to catch them, so they fall, and it's some acting in there too to make it look like it's more than what it was.
Yeah, I agree with what Mase said in the beginning, not the ghetto. I don't know what ghetto and all that. But what happened is, and that's the problem, they're not showing it. This is what I'm talking about. If you watch the news, and not really the news, I'm talking about growing up watching the news, because now the news is on your feed. They would start the news off the 5 o'clock news, 6 o'clock news, 8 p.m., 11 o'clock news with, there's been a murder, or it's a fire in this building. It's not the good part. They only save like 6 minutes of good part towards the end of the news. It's all drama when the news first comes on. You go to the shade room for drama. Sometimes they show some good shit. You go to the shade room and you sit there and say, so-and-so donates this, donates that. It's 2,000 likes. Niggas fighting, shooting, whatever, 200, 300,000 likes of comments or whatever, because everybody's opinionated on drama. Great point what Mase said. They're not showing that Angel Reese fouled the shit out this girl before Caitlin Clark actually fouled her. They keep showing the Caitlin Clark foul. To me, the shit that Angel Reese did was worse than what Caitlin Clark did. Caitlin Clark, it wasn't bad. She pushed this bitch out of bounds so she could get a rebound. Then Caitlin Clark actually, if you looked at the ref like, yo, you ain't call that? And then fouled her. Angel Reese falls, gets up, Caitlin Clark walks away, and now we're still talking about this 5-6 days later. You know, at the end of the day, so nobody remember Angel Reese doing this after she won the championship in Caitlin Clark's face and she had to take all that? What we want to do is make it a race war. And it's a right or wrong thing to me personally.
I want to make it a race war.
I don't want to make it a race war.
No,
that is the one action.
No, I'm just saying, like right now, shout out to Ryan Clark, and him and RG3 are going through some shit, and it's turning racist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because RG3 got a white wife, and Ryan Clark had to take to where, all because of this foul, and Ryan Clark's my man. I don't remember. I'm a real fan of his. I like his journalism and his work, and from him becoming a football player to where he's at in journalism is really amazing. But his take was, we're talking about a foul, and this shit turned into a whole black woman growing up, what they had to go through and struggle, and they just don't see it. And I'm not saying black women didn't, but this is all from a foul. it turned to a foul into Rosa Parks.
Who said that about the black woman growing up?
I'll read it after because I have it free. But
All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, cool. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I was going to put that in my take. But back to the foul. These two been beefing since college, to be honest with you. And to me, Angel Reese, and not even to me, it's really facts, but she vocalizes how the reason people love America or beyond America love Caitlin Clark is because Caitlin Clark needed a bad guy for you to love her. And she says she was the bad guy. She has no problem being the bad guy to Angel Reese's quote unquote good guy, good girl, whatever. And she's like, I'll play that role, but I know Caitlin Clark wouldn't be where she's at if it wasn't me. And even Angel Reese, she's a little braggadocious, man. You know what I'm saying? But because she's black, and we're talking about black and white and everything, and like I said, I'm not taking color out of it. I like braggadocious. I like people who pop shit. I don't have a problem with it. But what I'm saying is, when you braggadocious, sometimes people don't like that. Because she's black and white, black people gonna have a side. But what I'm saying is, she sits there and says, in 25 years, I know niggas is watching the NBA cause of me. And WNBA, pardon me, cause of me. And I'm not saying verbatim what she said, but it was something to that extent. Like, when little girls is growing up and he says it's not a coincidence now, everybody's watching the WNBA and everybody's doing this, doing that, because she feels that she's the counterpart to what Caitlin Clark is doing. To me, all this shit is over a foul, bro. They stretching it. We talking about this shit done went into American history and black history and civil rights and all that other shit. It was a hard foul. To me, the foul was deserved. It would be a layup if you didn't get the foul. Wasn't no blood on the play. But if you look at the play before it actually happened, Angel Reese pushed the shit out of the girl on the Fever. And that's what led to the foul.
I think it's really silly to be racist, actually, black or white, because a lot of black women wear white people hair, and a lot of white girls want black girls' butts. So I think they both like each other in some kind of way.
I don't even get the correlation, but we'll feed into kind of what Ryan Clark and RG3 said because it is trending and I want you guys' opinion. So RG3 made a comment saying, after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there's no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, not some basketball rivalry hate either. It's hate. So then Ryan Clark responded, and this is what Cam was saying. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what black women have to endure in this country, about what young black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. So yeah, what do you think about their discourse? Because there's a whole other thing going on. And obviously there's more that's been said, but these are the two main quotes.
I am a firm believer, because that's a pet peeve of mine as well. I do not like people to talk up like they're for black people that have a non-black spouse. That's just a personal preference of mine that I don't understand. I don't understand how you speak for people that you don't prefer. I never understood that, whether it's a black intelligent woman that has a Caucasian husband. Not that there's anything wrong with her having a Caucasian husband, but I think at that point, to be the voice for black people, you got to be excluded from that. We have great artists that tries to go on black rants, but then you marry all white women. I think that kind of excludes you from being the voice of black people when you don't prefer them yourself. So to actually stand up for something you don't prefer is kind of like an oxymoron to me and to my intellect.
As far as what RG3 says, read it again?
Yeah, what did you... you want me to read it again or just the question?
Mm-hmm.
Just the question.
Yeah, basically, what did you think, Ryan Clark's correlation was to what RG3 had to say about Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the hate thing?
I said it already. Like I said, RG3 is a great journalist, especially what he does on ESPN, the pivot, so on and so forth. But I just thought all of this over a foul. What I took from that, to be totally honest with you, is that RG3 Ryan Clark never liked RG3. Because he started saying that he said, you're a terrible, he said, Ryan Clark said, yo, you was a terrible teammate on the field and a terrible teammate off the field when we was on NFL Live or ESPN or whatever. So I'm taking it that he never liked RG3. And he said, and he basically finally found the reason to let him know that he didn't like RG3. That's how I took it. But then RG3 doubled back and said, yo, you crossed the line talking about my wife, this, that, and the third, and you went too far. And ESPN, they should be ashamed to have you up there. What I took from that was you trying to get the nigga fired.
Yeah, definitely.
He wasn't even on ESPN when he said it. He was on his show to Pivot. It wasn't even an ESPN thing. But I believe that RG3 may be bitter because he got let go from ESPN. But for what Ryan Clark said, the way I take it is this. He never liked RG3, and he been looking for a reason to tell niggas he don't like RG3. And this was the door that opened so he could say his real feelings about him. For him to say you was a terrible teammate on and off the field and on TV too, this sounds like he been wanting to get this off his chest. Called him corny too.
Yeah.
He said you corny and all type. He was dissing the nigga.
Yeah, it definitely went in multiple different directions where it didn't need to go. And like you said, Ryan Clark definitely did take the opportunity to throw a jab at RG3. But as far as RG3's initial comments, I just feel like it was a little tone deaf because I just feel like, people feel some type of way about Angel Reese for certain types of things. And then the platform that you have being a media person, I think feeding into the constant negative narratives that she gets for something like, even though, yes, I do think that Angel Reese overreacted, but in that moment, in the heat of the moment, they're trying to win the game, don't know what was going through her head. She's probably pissed off because she's like, I know this girl just ain't hit me like that, even though it shouldn't be that serious, but whatever was going through her mind, she acted on impulse.
What do you think went through her head? Because you keep saying that. What went through her head?
In the spur of the moment, when she was thrown down to the ground and she looked up and it was Caitlyn, mind you, the media already does this whole thing with them. That's annoying.
Okay, but what went through her head, Stat?
That's what I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Whatever specifically went through her head.
The black girl power shit, man.
It was hate. It was hate.
No, but that's because there are some words.
It was, nigga, I know you.
No, but what I'm saying is.
That foul wasn't even that crazy. Yo, but just saying status, you be like, I got fouled. You look up, oh, it's you. So go crazy. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying in the spur of the moment when she looked down and Caitlyn Clark, and it's like they already have a rivalry. Like, just like, I don't know, the rivalry that y'all had when y'all were in school and stuff like that. Certain teams, yeah, it's gonna be more fire, but I don't think that insinuates hate.
What I'm trying to say, it is hate. It is hate.
I think the term.
There's some people growing up, I hate it.
That's fine.
I may have gotten past it a little bit, but I feel the way I felt about it.
Which is fine. And that's where we go back to the different lens between living through things and seeing things, because I've never in my life ever said I hated somebody, and that's just me because I don't use those. There's certain words that are trigger words that I'm not going to use because I don't feel that way. So when she got up,
did she say, I greatly dislike you? This is that cat out in the bag.
No, she didn't. She didn't say, I dislike you. She just said, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This is the shit that Stat do when it's black female athletes.
No, because.
And she sticks with them. And I get
That's not even what I'm saying, though, because I said she overreacted.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you said this.
Oh, you holding her accountable.
Finally. Okay, my bad. There she go. Good job, Stat.
They don't want me to finish my take.
Good job, man.
Can I finish?
Good job, man.
Yeah, you're a public figure.
Can I finish?
When
I'm saying, I said Angel Reese overreacted. I don't know what went through her head when it happened, but I'm sure spur of the moment she was frustrated. But the term hate is a strong word. And so I think for RG3 to then see that play, make a whole 2-paragraph thing about Angel Reese hates Caitlyn Clark, like, you already know the narratives that people feed in. I just feel like with your platform, why would you feed into that knowing that people quite literally discredit her when she doesn't even probably hate anybody?
What I'm trying to say, she's just a competitor. I'm in agreement with you. I'm saying even RG3's comment can be seen as hate because he don't prefer black women. To some
I didn't even get to that part yet, which that is also your opinion. I do think the messenger matters.
That's not my opinion.
No, but you did say.
That's what the ghetto says.
No, you said that. You said because you don't agree with certain people who have certain partners, you don't feel like they should be allowed to speak on certain things, and that's fine.
No, that's a fact.
Exactly.
That
We're
is
on
a
the same
Snapple
page.
fact.
I'm confirming what you said.
The
I'm
messenger,
not saying that.
No, I'm saying that the messenger matters. The messenger matters.
Y'all blacker than me.
That's also not what I said.
I'm just asking. No, I'm asking. I'm not saying. I'm asking y'all now because y'all fuck black bitches. I fuck white bitches. Y'all are blacker than me. You can say yeah if you want. I'm just asking if that's how you feel.
That's a good point. That's a good point. The difference, and I'm not changing this because it's you.
No, I know that.
The difference between you is that you don't just do white women.
Okay, yeah.
If all you did was a white woman, and then you come up here saying, fight the power. We can't do that.
All right, cool.
You get what I'm saying? That's what niggas be doing.
All right, cool.
Talking
I just wanted to know.
Oh, for the people. How are we for the people? You ain't for the people.
I would keep it. I don't want to be the ambassador for the black people.
You don't want to be the face of the league. You don't want to be the ambassador.
I don't want to be ex-Clan. I don't want to be Brother J.
Yeah, so if he was ex-Clan, and then we find out you married Trista.
Yeah, I get that. Brother J. Yeah, I got you.
Brother J, listen, my brother, the Nubian power and all of that, and then he walk in with Trista. What we gonna say?
Yeah, like, don't drink your juice in the hood.
And shout out to Trish, yeah.
But that nigga, that character from Don't Drink Menace, the Menace to Society parody.
Yeah.
He was a super duper Muslim and don't drink your juice in the hood. One of them shit. That shit was hilarious.
So when when RG3 gives his take, because of that is his reality. It makes his commentary comes across as vague and pretty much desensitized, and sometimes that's the case.
So that's what I'm interpreting Ryan Clark was trying to say. I just think regarding the relationship, that didn't get translated well because I do agree with you, but I also don't think that his opinion should be discredited because he's married to a white woman. But at the same time, it's like if you always have certain comments that look a certain way and then you're never really around us and that type of thing, it's like, okay, where is this coming from? So like to that point, like I do agree, but also he's allowed to make a statement. I just don't think that he should feed into the narratives that we already know are like annoying because that
I think he still could have a voice, just maybe on a different subject, Yeah, just on a different subject. Like, I'm gonna ask you something, right? Okay. This is just a question. Like when women get their hair done, right? Okay. Where do they mainly get their hair from? I
don't know.
Okay.
Malaysia.
So it would be like
I had a hair company.
Yeah, it would be like talking against. It would be like talking against Malaysia while having Malaysian hair in your head. And trying to be a voice against Malaysia while you're wearing Malaysian hair. That would look crazy. To the person that knows you're wearing Malaysian hair.
Kind of like cultural appropriation to an extent.
Exactly. Cultural appropriation. That's a great word. Thank you, Stat, for your journalism.
That's what I do. But I don't see the correlation. This might have to be continued because I do think this is a good conversation.
Yeah,
but I see where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
he can't culturally appropriate, like he's still a black man, but I get what you're saying, but also he is still a black man, so he can make those comments, but it's not sounding right coming from, it's the messenger. Okay.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
My point is this, is that RG3 to me is smart because I didn't even know RG3 had a podcast. Now we up here talking about RG3. Mm-hmm. Niggas got to know what be clickbait and what niggas want to grab and make stories and so on and so forth. I ain't see RG3 since he got canned from ESPN. Now we sitting up here for 15 minutes, which is a great topic, for 10, 15 minutes talking about RG3 and Ryan Clark. When's the last time you brought up RG3 name? But because he's talking about Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark, now it's a topic. So, salute to you for getting the clickbait, nigga.
Was the real problem that his wife was in the background
Well, I mean,
didn't see that. That's more spice. That's more fire.
She was in the back with the tea, nodding her head when he was popping off, and that made him, you know what I'm saying?
So she put him up to it.
That's what it looked like.
That's what the streets is saying. That's what the ghetto is saying. They put him up to it.
To be continued.
What's her name?
But I don't know. And we're not even gonna.
Shout out to Ryan Clark. Shout out to RG3.
Yeah.
And all the people that like what they like.
Yeah, I don't know. Like we all said, it was literally just a foul, and it came to all this. But shout out to them for getting one of the most views in a WNBA game in recent years. There's a lot more to come, but that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.